Good evening. This is Zoning Board of Appeals on October 22nd. I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Ryan Canty here.
John Blaine.
George Slingo.
John Julian. William LePage.
Someone make a motion to have.
I can make a motion that we have Billy as a member for tonight.
Second.
Motion's been made second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, first thing is public hearing for, I'm going to screw up your name, I know it, Mariusz Kalinowski?
Yes.
Please come up. Is it Mariusz?
Mariusz.
Marusz?
Yeah, that's almost.
I tried.
That's good.
Can you tell us what you'd like to do?
I tried to put the addition garage to existing building. That's 40 by 70.
Uh-huh.
So then my property is like a triangle. So I know can put as the set bed like a 30 one corner existing to the existing building.
Yep.
Because after this, my property is common like a.
Goes far enough away, you don't have a problem.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay, so,
That's the like a not heating this garage for my vehicle. That's it.
okay, on your map here, you're showing 10 feet. You want to go to 8 feet, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any abutters?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, the butters, they're at my place, they should be here shortly, the direct butters that are hopefully they'll be here within the next few minutes or so. I just saw them 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you could come to leeway tomorrow, if possible. That's entirely.
All right. Does any board members have any questions?
Is this 10'4" not accurate, or are you just looking to push it back more?
No, push for engineering, that's accurate right now.
Is that the only issue with the building?
Yeah.
It's considered an addition.
One whole building.
Now there's some abutters.
Yeah. Yeah, it's behind here. Huge bank and shit. There's like nothing else.
It's got 30 feet over here, and down here it goes to 8.
Maybe look at this one.
Existing buildings also.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with this.
Oh, we should wait for your brothers to come, so we delay it a few minutes.
We'll wait a few minutes for the abutters.
Okay.
Do you know what the distance is from this existing building to the property line?
That's like a.
Is it
around
less
the
than
10.
8?
Around the 10.
Under 10?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this here.
So sorry, I go for the 8 because like the roof is maybe another 12 inches.
Yep.
So that's make sure I am.
It's
I
better be
enough.
safe than sorry.
Yes, exactly.
So that would be from the corner, you said the corner of the roof would be at that.
Yes.
Have you watched our meetings before?
Yeah, it's the same.
It's
That's-
the way it's written, so.
That's
yeah.
that's
There's
what
like
I
a
check.
huge cliff here. And there's shields down the hole there. The shields driveway goes. It's weird. It's way in the back. There's a apartment building.
I don't understand. Could you come up a minute?
He's
Come up
not a
minute.
butter.
I got a question for you.
No.
Is there any reason you can't support the cops over there?
You know what? That's I put it this way.
Yep.
That's the another building. There's not too much room for the truck to go over here.
Oh, there's a road.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
So, okay.
That's why.
So, the existing building, are they yours or?
Yeah, that's mine. That's mine.
Okay.
This is the driveway right here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a gate right here.
Mm-hmm.
All this is all fenced in.
Mm-hmm.
This is his only access. Unless he takes.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying.
Thank you.
Can we,
This must be the abutted. I just told him. Give him the setback, so he's asking for that. Conditions have to put a residential. This way, you can't turn around trucks in there because I guess they're trying to zone it in November, but then he has 2 years. So this way you can't do that.
I can't picture in my mind what that is.
Sounds good to me. I think you brought that up before.
I did.
Yeah, I just can't.
Can we put this on the side for now and
Yep.
go bring the other one up?
Absolutely. Make a motion.
Yes, please.
Chairman, I'd like to recommend that we put this aside for a few minutes till the people come and move on to the next part of the agenda.
No?
Is this the abutter?
Okay.
Okay, I'll strict that.
Are there any butters?
Yes, my husband Mark Kubicki.
Okay. Can you please come up here and,
He has had an operation,
okay.
a cancer operation.
So,
So he's-
I mean, if you
I have a
speak
hard
for
time
him?
speaking.
No issues.
Well, we have no issues. We want to vote for them.
Okay.
That's
We're on 40 Oxford Ave.
Yep.
It's Mark and Joanne Kubicki. We
Yep.
want to we want to vote for them. Thank you
Thank you very much.
very much.
Okay.
How do you spell your
Okay.
last name?
Kubicki.
How do you spell your last name?
Kalinowski.
No.
Oh,
Oh, Kubicki? It's like K as in kitten, U, B as in boy, I-C-K-I.
Thank you.
It's Joanne and Mark, 40 Oxford Ave.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Mr. Chairman, seeing as there's no objection from the butters, I would make a
Close the meeting.
motion that we grant the application.
I'd like to close the meeting at 10 minutes past 7.
Second. Second. Good idea.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that the variance reducing the right side setback on the southwest corner of the lot be adjusted from 30 feet to 8 feet to allow this person's construction, the addition of an existing building. And he is aware that the roof line, in fact, has to be 8 feet back. So if you want to give yourself a few inches to the plus when they want to do the final, might be to your advantage, but anyhow, that would be the motion to grant this request. Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
thank you very much.
You have to seek glory.
Come have a hot dog sometime. Joanne's going to hot dogs.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're very welcome.
Marush,
Yak shamash.
you have to see him. Her. I'm sorry. Her. She'll have some papers.
I'm going to file the motion.
Okay, second is a public hearing for Zuri Zirk. he or she asked that it be withdrawn on 10/8/15. So at that point, we will, it's withdrawn, so we'll go to the next one. Reconvene public hearing for John Healy, 40 Fish Road, 12 minutes past 7.
All those instructions will be.
I'll reconvene the public hearing. How we doing?
Oh, well, good evening, gentlemen.
This has been a,
It's been a long,
Yes.
ending process, hasn't it?
yeah, it took us a little while to refresh our memories. It's been a while.
Yes.
Would anybody like to have anything to say?
Yes, just as for a matter of record, while I was as chair, I went to town administrator and town council and asked for input for some questions, and at this point in time, have not received any feedback. I don't think it's really fair to drag this out much longer.
Okay. Anybody else?
I agree. We got to make a decision and just get it over with. This is just going on so much, and we're forgetting what it is about.
You want to make a motion?
So, I'm distracted. Do we have the, what?
I think the chairman should throw out anybody who has a phone that isn't silenced.
Okay, see you later. Oh, we don't have a quorum then.
Okay.
What were we,
Have all, as far as all the
was he-
fines and everything and all that, the court cases all settled, all fines have been paid and so forth?
Absolutely, yes.
Do you have what you were asking for
All
with the
the
zoning?
court cases all
The
resolved,
setbacks and everything?
fines paid, everything's closed.
I realized, I think we discussed that the last time we talked, but I just, for clarification purposes, brought it up again, that's all.
No, that's the timeline thing.
You guys got to look at that.
This is the timeline.
the house, it's right up here, but it rid all this land back here. What about this back here?
Yeah, the timeline's right.
This is the only access to
Oh, I
it.
just gave you the
Right.
timeline
Yeah,
for.
and that's all zoned, and this is currently
Yeah,
zoned.
that's fine.
We never brought that up before, have we? Yeah.
See what he was asking.
I think it's commercial, or you're trying to go commercial or residential, is that what it was?
Well, it was originally residential, then in 2003, it was rezoned to commercial.
Commercial.
And then the fire took place, and so there was, the change took place in 2003, the zoning change.
To commercial.
Yes.
Just trying to refresh the memory.
Oh, yes. I don't blame you. I had to look over my file also this evening.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I get some, I see where the new house is, but then right behind it is 16.4 acres. Do you own that as well?
That's all my property, yes.
And that's zone commercial.
Yeah,
Oh, I found it.
yes it is. It is.
It's zone commercial. It was changed after the fact.
no, it was changed.
2009,
It was changed before.
Before the
It's all,
house.
it's always been industrial.
No,
It's
No.
industrial?
No, it's not.
no, it hadn't. I
Right.
beg to differ from my client, but there was a zoning change in 2003.
Yeah. That made it to what?
Really, I had it here. a minute
Too
ago.
industrial.
Two industrial.
Okay, too industrial, okay. I apologize.
Mr. Russo, could you give a brief scenario so, everybody understands, where we are?
Fair enough. This home, this building has always been a single-family residence. It's on a road with all other single-family residents. In 2003, there was a zoning change where it became commercial. And that property became a non-conforming use, but since it was grandfathered in, it was perfectly legal due to the grandfather. In September of 2009, there was a fire, destroyed the property. As I have outlined in the chronology, Mr. Healy had to then negotiate with the insurance company. They issued an insurance check for the fire loss in 2009, but there was a mortgage on the property, and they had to go through the mortgage company's approval. They obviously have to sign the check. When there's a fire loss, the check is made payable both to the owner and to the bank or mortgage company that has the mortgage on the property. And that was not resolved for a while. Mr. Healy then had to work out and negotiate a payment schedule with the mortgage company because they were starting anew with the mortgage. So at the time, Mr. Healy then hired a modular home company to prepare plans for the replacement home. The home was built and only delivered in November of 2010. Then the issue arose with the Historic Commission. The building was how old, John?
1770.
So the Historic Commission had to sign off on any change to the building. Obviously it burned, so to the replacement. That took a considerable amount of time. He was not able to get a demolition permit until February 8th of 2011. In June of 2011, the foundation was poured. Unfortunately, Mr. Healy neglected to get a permit from the building inspector to go ahead with the construction of the home. He had gone through the other departments, but not through the Historic Commission, but not through the building department. The home was in fact set on the foundation on August 23rd, 2011, which would have been within the 2 years from the date of the fire loss. Under the town regulations, you have 2 years in which to replace a building that is non-conforming but had been previously grandfathered in. When Mr. Healy dropped the modular on the foundation, the building department then issued a cease and desist. And in fact, he stopped construction, but the building department wanted him to take the modular off of the site. And they issued a citation for each and every day that the building remained on the site, even though it was not totally buttoned down, not totally installed with electrical and other all the other subcontractors that you need. I think there was a couple hundred citations issued by the town for each day that this existed, and there were a couple hundred criminal complaints issued, one for each citation for violating the town bylaws. So we had to go to court. We had discussions with the building department, and what we were led to believe is if we resolved the citations, the building department would work with us, with Mr. Healy, and I was involved also. in the court, the building department, the district attorney's office, and we negotiated a settlement where he paid $4,000 in fines. He was to pay $4,000 in fines, which he did gradually. It took some time.
Yep.
It's a considerable amount of money. I'm not complaining. It was what we resolved in court. Then we had to go. The building department rightfully instructed us to go to the Conservation Commission because there was wetlands. And as I outlined, we went numerous occasions in August and October of 2012, up until December of 2012, when Conservation Commission approved and allowed the work to continue, or allowed the building, approved their portion of it so that we could get a building permit. We then had to go to the EPA, and that was in December of 2006 also. So after all those permits, after those municipal approvals and all the fines were paid in the beginning of 2005, when Mr. Healy complied with all the requirements that we had been told by the building department, we went back to the building department. Unfortunately, the building department personnel had changed, and we're dealing with a new building department, and they would not issue the permit. And that's where we stand. We're here we're asking for the board to allow a special permit to put the home. As you can see from the plan, this is a smaller building. There's less of a footprint, less of a foundation. He's not asking to exceed what was already there. In fact, it's smaller. It's consistent with what's there. My understanding is that all the buildings on Fish Road are residential, single-family homes. None of the abutters were here for the public hearing to object. One abutter, a George Goulis, called me and told me I could represent to the board that he was in total agreement with Mr. Healy's request. It's a situation where I don't think many of us know that there's a 2-year requirement that you replace a non-existing use. It's not something a typical layperson would know. And I think, in all fairness, Mr. Healy didn't know. He did go about the process. We didn't get it all done in time. We attempted to, so I would ask that you grant the permit.
All right, so what you're asking for is setbacks, right?
No, I don't think it's setbacks. It's
You meet all the setbacks?
We're strictly just asking to start to get the okay to have the building made, correct? And my question is, why wouldn't he think that he would need a building permit to put a house on there? I mean,
He needs a building permit.
no, that's what my question is.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he think that he wouldn't need a building permit to put a new house on a foundation?
it's a fair question, and
That's a fair question.
he
You know, I neglected to get the permit, and I got fined for it, and for my stupidity, I got fined for it, and I paid for my crime.
Okay, so
Basically, yeah.
what are you asking us for? Just detail bullet. Now
wanna
we'll go
know
through the
what
whole
else
thing. What do
there.
you want from us?
we are asking that he have a special permit to construct the home. In a zone that would be otherwise prohibiting the use of that zone. Since it's zoned industrial 130,
So essentially, he wants to replace a house that was in a non-conforming zone
that's it.
that burned down. So, but nothing changes. And the house is, new house is the same location as the old house, and
I think it may have shifted a few feet, Mr. Canty, but basically it's the same location. It's in fact a smaller foundation, smaller footprint.
right. So the biggest issue here was that the original house was on, because of zoning, ended up on a non-conforming lot.
Yes.
and he had a fire, and he wants to replace his house even though it's on a non-conforming lot.
Yes.
Didn't do it within the 2 years. And he didn't do it within the 2 years.
Well, he was, yeah.
Well, there was a
It
time
wasn't done
limit.
within the 2 years, but he was jumping through hoops trying to get it done.
Right.
Yeah,
So now, basically, the special permit is we're going to allow residential use in an industrial zone. Because that's where 40 Fish is right now.
Correct.
Okay, so you want to have a residential, you want 40 Fish to be residential,
I wanna keep this,
right?
I wanna keep my same zone. I want to keep the same zone.
We want the same, we want to be able to have the residential home there, yes.
On 40 Fish.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what about the 16.4 acres in the back?
It's all one lot.
At this point, we have no intentions one way or the other.
So if we put that, so we could make that,
So I think what we're leaning to is, if I could speak for you.
yeah,
Is that lot would remain, right now it's industrial, you want a single-family residential house on it.
Yes.
So we would put a restriction on that property that it would be residential.
in other
So
words,
this way, because all the houses on that road is all residential.
Why can't I keep the way it is? Why can't I?
May I have a moment, please?
sure.
Why can't I keep it the same?
Yeah, because it seems like you say the people want, they don't, they wish to have a house, they don't want to locate it on the road. Right. So if you want to do it, it seems like you gotta do it. Otherwise, you're gonna end up potentially.
Yeah, but like you said, everything else is residential, and this can't be. We should go half and half.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, yes, we agree.
You agree?
Yes.
All right. Would someone make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we grant the special permit for 40 Fish to be residential, so long as the balance of Lot 9 of 16.4 acres remains residential.
It's all one lot anyways.
Yeah.
It's all one lot.
Okay, a motion's been made.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So there's going to be a restriction on that lot that it remains residential.
I understand, Mr. Chairman.
Because, all the roads going up there, it's all residential anyways. So
No.
hopefully this makes everybody happy.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, new old business? A letter from the Board of Health regarding trailer with sewer pipe into the ground on Causeway Shores.
You asked me to write a letter to the Board of Health.
He could.
Yep.
Let's see why.
Is that the trailer?
Have to go through all the hoops.
That's the trailer.
Whatever else.
Yeah. Please.
Okay, Town of Dudley, zoning board of appeals, attention, George Slingo, chairman. David, George Slingo, thank you for your correspondence regarding the trailer sewer pipe at Causeway Shores Road, Cougar Island, and pre-existing non-conforming use. Based upon your report that the storage is being discharged into the ground via a pipe from the trailer, there is no obvious violation as the discharge is probably entering some type of existing cesspool or dry well. The continued use of this existing cesspool is allowed until A, exhibits signs of failure, breakout, or backup, or B, there is a charge of use for the property. Cesspools may not be repaired, modified, or replaced under any rules of Title V. Cesspools are inactive and may pass Title V inspection. Again, thank you, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else?
Yes, I'd like to, Chairman, I'd like to bring up, on talking to the town employee, I thought it was a great idea, that our group meet with the planning group along with the building inspector, set up a meeting sometime in the near future, so we can kind of look at some of the zoning bylaws and see how we can start to modify them so that we can have more laws that are maybe a little black and white, more specific, and
They make sense?
yeah, it makes sense. And I'd be happy to, work with Gloria or whatever. She could send a letter or something that, we could try to get the groups together and see what we're all going through and try to make it easier for all of us.
Okay, is that in the form of a motion?
Yes, it is, sir.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there anything else?
Not that I can think of.
A motion to, we don't meet in November.
No November meeting?
This was the November meeting.
We just did it.
Okay.
Yeah. Lori, can you, arrange that? Try to send a letter to the boards? Yep. A motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.